Welcome back to Brazen, Brits. You may or may not be aware that we have two dogs. We have Opie, who is a Doberman. He's an idiot. And then we have Jax, and we think he's part rat. Where is he? There he is.
Slash raccoon.
We think he's part rat, raccoon, something like that. Anyway, we're currently at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. We are doing another video on that about the resort itself, but we can make a whole video just on the pet stuff because there's a couple of things that you really need to know if you are bringing pets here, and some of them are pretty important. So let's roll the intro and then Natalie can tell you all about it.
It makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I just wonder.
So you have a couple of options when you are bringing your dog with you to Fort Wilderness, and we have opted for both options for this particular visit. So for Opie, we have put him into kennels. There is a local kennel here called Best Friends Pet Care. It's not technically owned by Disney, but it is on the Disney resort and parks, so it's the one that they recommend. Lawrence is sorting out his shoe. And then for Jax, he has stayed in the camper because he's older and he's quite happy just looking at squirrels. So if you have opted for the option of daycare or boarding at the Best Friends Pet Hotel, this is going to set you back about $47 per night, and that's for indoor cages only. The indoor-outdoor runs at about $57 per night. Now, bear in mind, I had to phone up to double check this, that included in that price is not a lot. Your dogs get 2 potty breaks, that's it, a day. One mid-morning and one in the afternoon. So you have to pay an extra $8 if you would like a walk or a cuddle time or some play time, and it starts adding up from there. So be prepared for that. They do open an hour before the parks open at Disney, and they close an hour after, which is great. If you want your dog to play with other dogs though, be aware that they need extra vaccinations for the influenza, I think, type 1 and 2. And for your typical boarding, you just need your distemper, parvo, rabies, and the bordetella. So make sure your dog has all of that up to date. Another very important thing I want to point out, good luck booking on the day. We tried to extend Opie's reservation, not a chance. They get booked up very quickly. So I actually booked this, 3 weeks in advance. So if you're going to even think about that option, make the reservation.
So your second option, rather than using the kennels, is to obviously leave your dog in your rig, which is fine. There's full hookups, you can have the AC going or whatever you need, no problem at all. We decided not to do that with Opie because even though if you walk him in the morning where he's high energy and then he'll sleep all day, in the evening he's going to be really active. And you say, yes Lawrence, but can't I just walk him in the evening as well? After you've done 30,000 steps at Disney all day, you don't want to come home and then go and walk the dogs. And Opie is not a quick round the block. He needs a decent walk. And don't forget that Natalie did a previous video of RVing with dogs, and a lot of the same things count here. So one of the big things that we love is the RV lock on the door. We'll put a link below. But that means that if we ever get any issues or anything happens, we can just give anyone the code. Another thing is we have temperature sensors. I did a video on that. I'll link to it up here in the description, and that will tell us if the AC cuts out, the temperature of the rig rises, that alerts our phone. We can then phone Fort Wilderness and say, hey, the temperature's really high in our rig, would you mind going and getting our dogs out? Here's the code. But
something I want to point out, if you are going to leave the dogs in the RV and you think that's fine, we'll just nip back at lunchtime, it's actually really far to each of the parks here. So yesterday we were thinking that's fine, we'll get the boat over to the Magic Kingdom and then we'll go to Epcot and then we'll just nip back for the dogs. It was nearly 68 minutes, I think, just to get back to the rig. And by that point, we didn't really want to go out again. So bear that in mind. Had I really thought this through, I probably would have boarded both the dogs. However, if you're not intending to be at the parks all day and you're like, no, I'll only leave my dogs for 4 or 5 hours, then as Lawrence rightly said, you have 4 hookups and you can absolutely leave them there. There are 2 rather large dog parks at Fort Wilderness. One for the large dogs, one for the small dogs. It features hose and bags and stuff and drinks, although Jax is drinking out of a puddle. So at least there's 2 places where you can let your dogs off leash and run. That's awesome.
So a couple of things here. There are trash cans all the way around the outside here, and they also have doggy poo bags, obviously. They have a really cool dog fountain here. Well, and mud, because it's leaking a bit. The valve's gone on that. They'll need to fix that, but it's there. And they also have this hose reel here, so I think if your dog is running around or in the mud, then you can just wash off your dog here. So it is a big place.
It is.
I'm impressed with this.
This is bigger than most campsite dog parks for sure.
Yeah, this is, if this is much bigger than normal, but yeah, very cool. It's not very difficult, but Natalie really struggles with these latches.
So
I've just had to teach her that you just lift it up and open it, but she's lifting up the wrong one, then just randomly pulling it and then closing it. So if anyone, here's a tip: if you need to get in the gate, you open this, lift that up and put it through. If you're going in the other way, you can lift this one up and push it that way. Got it? Note that down. Right, so another couple of things you probably need to know about is there is a $5 pet charge per day. That's not per pet, right?
Yes, per pet.
Oh, is it per pet? Okay, so but to be honest, when you're spending so much money for that, an extra $10 isn't that much. All pets must be kept on leash, no longer than 8 feet, which is fine. It doesn't. We always use short leashes anyway. Yep. And there's a dog park, so short leash at dog park, let them run around. It's fine. And then I'm going to read this straight off the website. There are no breed restrictions, but pets that interfere with the quality of the guest experience at Disney Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground in any way, such as aggression, noise, etc., or generate a legitimate complaint to management, will result in the pet owner being required to discontinue the pet's inappropriate behaviour, remove the pet to an off-site kennel, or leave the resort.
Yes.
It's pretty standard, but the good thing there is there are no breed restrictions, which we run into
all the time.
This dirtbag. All right, and then you want to talk about the kennels, our experience of the kennels and stuff.
Yeah, so we went to Best Friends, Pet Best Friends. I can never
you
get that right.
I
changed it every time. And I can't say I was overly happy with the experience. I mean, it is very clean, spacious when you go in. If you want to have we didn't see the actual kennels because you have to book a tour, and they only do tours up until like 4 o'clock. So because we were getting there at a certain time, we didn't have time to book a tour. So I don't know what the actual kennels look like. The reception is lovely, big store. However, Opie did get a little bit of runny bottom, shall we say.
An upset stomach.
An upset stomach, which is not usual for him. He has been boarded before. It's not like this is his first time and, you know, he freaked out. So I think it was due to the lack of breaks that he got. And then more disappointingly, when we got him back, he was covered in said such upset stomach. And having worked at a kennels for many years, we always clean the dogs up before they're sent home. So that was just a bit of a... It was disappointing, yes. So
we heard some really good things about the kennels, but that one experience we had for a couple of days wasn't fantastic. So.
No, and I've since learned, I mean, I posted on a few of my Doberman groups, and, you know, there are some rover people... Jax! There are some rover people out there that will come and, you know, walk your dogs for you if that's another option. And there are other kennels around. So... you know, have a look at all the options.
So anyway, we hope this helped. There's a few things that are on the website. We couldn't actually find them before we left, but they are on the website, and hopefully this helped with a few things. Yeah. The resort is fantastic. The dog parks are great. The trails are great, although we didn't get to use them too much. We left Jackson the trailer. That was fine. Opening the kennels, it was fine. He came home fine. Just had poopy bum for a little while. But yeah, overall, really good. Don't be afraid to take your pets to Fort Wilderness. We will see you next week. Really makes me wonder.
He literally just dropped his anal glands on my leg. That is disgusting.
No. Oh, I thought he got scared because a bug landed.
I think he did, and then was like...